Oi, gente, tudo bem? Aqui é a Lara e hoje eu estou com o Jankos, que agora faz parte do team Heretics. So, Jankos, maybe you can tell me a little bit, I think first things first, so we go chronologically, about leaving G2. You know I have to ask this question. How was that for you? Was it a bit of a shocker? Was it something you expected?
I feel like in a way I expected it based on our performance last season. I feel like we didn't really. We didn't do too bad, right? We won Europe and we were second place, but it felt like we couldn't really compete against the strongest international teams. And G2 as an organization, their policy is to be competing internationally on the highest level. So it made sense to change me. I think I was in the team for a long time, and I feel like I had like my chances, so to speak, to like bring the team to the highest level. And if I couldn't, then it makes sense to go, with a rookie jungler that is very talented.
And do you think that Yannick is going to bring in that spice that I guess they were looking for? Do you think it's going to take them where they want to be?
I think currently I would say that they have like the 4th best laners in Europe for sure. And hopefully they have the best junglers. Hopefully, maybe not hopefully, because I'm a jungler, so hopefully not. But
Sure.
I think they definitely have like a lot of potential. I don't know how far they will go and how far it will take them, but I think from my experience, the management, the coaching staff, and the players, everyone is like very very good and very passionate, and they really want to work hard from knowing all of them personally. So I'm excited for them, and I hope they do well.
All right. And why Team Heretics? I'm sure that every LEC team was looking after you once they knew that, you were moving on.
It wasn't every team because there's a lot of talented junglers in Europe.
Manner of speaking.
But I did have some offers that I couldn't pursue due to various reasons that I cannot share probably. But I ended up on Team Heretics, and I want to make the best out of it.
Okay.
And I think we can do well.
So let's talk about this roster then. I know that you have a Japanese top laner and you also have a Korean player in your team. How are you facing this challenge? Because I know that communication sometimes can be a little bit difficult, but it's not two Koreans, which is, I guess, normal in some rosters. It's one Japanese player and one Korean player. So how's that working?
Ruby played in Europe before, and Evie was at the international stage before, and both of them put a lot of effort into learning English so that we can communicate well. I still think there's some issues we have about communication, and it comes from being on different teams, different cultures, but also the way of speaking to people. And some words are just not understood, especially if you talk fast. So I was a bit worried that on stage I tend to communicate very fast what I want to do, because League is a fast-paced game.
Right.
So I was a bit worried if they can understand me or not. But I think went somewhat well. I think there's still a lot of room for improvements when it comes to communication and also our play overall.
Do you guys use like keywords or something that's a little faster and easier for them to
I
understand?
think that they understand good enough at this point that we don't need keywords, but of course there are like terms that we use as a team, so everyone understands easier.
Right, I know that each team has kind of like their own thing, and that's super interesting.
Exactly, and I think that with time the goal is to talk less, and if everyone knows what to do, you don't need to talk as much. So the goal is to bring the team understanding of the game higher, so that everyone can focus on their gameplay and less on talking.
All right, and talking a little bit about the meta that we're seeing now at the beginning of this split, give me your honest thoughts on jungle monsters or Pokemonsters, whatever you want to call them. And
at first I was quite skeptical because I just don't understand why do I have a Pokemon behind me, but at this point I just don't mind. I don't have thoughts because I've been playing the game for so long that I just get used to the changes.
That's
and
great.
For me at this point, I think it's whatever, right? We just have Pokemons and that is it, and we have to kill minions and then we get stronger. Something that was in game in like a different form. Back in the day, you had to like farm stacks and stuff as well.
Right.
So I think everything is fine. I think the jungle meta is quite well on stage. Is not that versatile. We see a lot of like Sejuani, Vi, and
Graves.
Yeah, like one Graves game. Not so much Graves, I think, other than G2 so far. But yeah, we see Sejuani, Maokai, and Vi a lot, I think. Also in the bot lane, I feel like the meta is quite stale, very similar to last year. So I am very excited for next patch.
But they're bringing in the Jin support, and that's kind of interesting.
But I think mostly, especially in Asia, it's like Lulu Zeri and Yumi or Lucian Nami. So Riot wants to fix it, and they are like super hard nerfing these champions next patch. The problem is that competitive rules changed, and now we don't have the next patch until 2 weeks after, which basically means for BO1s for the whole season of Winter Split, we are stuck on the patch we are playing now. So 13.1 will stay with us for this week, next week, which basically means that the meta will not change until BO3s, and then we will skip one patch and we have 13.3, So from pro player point of view, I think it's in a way it's good because you get to stay on the same patch. So if you understand the patch well, you can do well. On the other hand, BO3s will be like completely different meta. So I'm also
Right.
looking forward to that.
Could be quite spicy.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I guess it is time to say goodbye to the fans. Maybe you can try to say it in Portuguese. Are you willing?
I can try my best,
Okay.
but I don't promise.
It's easy. It's easy. It's just say, "Ciao, obrigado."
Ciao, obrigado.
That was
I
great.
think that went
You-
well,
you
right?
did it,
Yeah.
yes.